Since I work in the payments business, but in the past I ran a small business, a lot of my friends ask me how they should optimize their payments to improve customer conversion, frankly. They want to make more money with their business and they want to know how the payments industry can help them make more money. The first advice I have is, and it's not that much of a surprise, that you should accept cash. People prefer cash. It's the dominant way that brick and mortar transactions take place and its only real risks are employee theft or other theft, and you can fix that using video cameras and drop boxes, and counterfeiting, and you can fix that by making sure you check anything other than a $1 bill with a counterfeit detecting pen. Your fraud will be very low and your theft will be very low if you implement those. The second thing you should do is, of course, you should accept credit cards and debit cards. If you're not accepting credit cards and debit cards, it's probably because you're trying to evade taxes, not because you're trying to optimize your revenue. If you want to accept credit and debit cards in a brick and mortar scenario, the best thing you can do is buy a Verifone terminal. You could also, if you're a smaller business that only accepts 1 or 2 credit cards a day, probably get away with a Square account or an Intuit Go payment account. And you have to use those with an iPhone or an Android phone. But for most environments, a Verifone terminal will be the right answer for a medium-sized or small-sized business. And yes, you need to accept American Express, you need to accept Discover. Are you really going to turn away extra revenue because the person is using an American Express and that costs you 70 basis points more cost? That doesn't make any sense. Lastly, you're going to want to accept checks. If you trust your customer and have an ongoing relationship with them, I don't recommend that you accept checks as a small or medium-sized business if you don't have an ongoing relationship with the customer and it's a first-time customer because of fraud risk. Those funds aren't actually your funds for several days, in fact for up to 60 days. So be careful with that. And then as a bonus, you could be offering gift cards. What's nice about gift cards is if you sell a product, you don't even have to fulfill the product when you sell a gift card. You're effectively selling a product in the future, and there's nothing better than getting paid $50 for something that costs $0 to provide, but you might have to provide in the future. So it's a way to build a cash flow positive aspect to your business. Plus, some people lose those gift cards, and more importantly, it's an easy way to let your customers give you your service or product as a gift. So to recap, you need to accept cash, you need to accept credit cards, including the expensive credit cards, as well as debit cards. You should accept checks from loyal customers that you have a relationship with and trust, and you should consider adding gift cards to your offering. If you do all that, you'll optimize your payments for your business.